Hello everyone, welcome to Cultural Talk. I know it has been a long time we didn't see each other, sorry for that. Today we are going to talk about books. We have a book review. Our book of today is Win Every Argument, The Art of Debating, Persuading and Public Speaking by the British-American author and journalist Mehdi Hassan. This book is a perfect example of a Hassani proverb says, which means if someone gives you a piece of advice on how to, let's say on how to tend your camels, look at their camels before taking the advice. Or to simplify it for our Western viewers, let's say if your neighbor tells you how to take care of your garden, look at their garden before taking their advice. So when it comes to learning about debating, public speaking, debunking arguments, I think Mehdi Hassan is the most credible person on earth to write a book about that. And to know why, or let's say to prove myself right, have a look on these segments before starting our book review.
The point here is that let's assume I'm wrong, Richard. I'm wrong.
Let's
assume I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I'm happy to concede that, Richard. I'm happy to concede it. I'm wrong. All religions are wrong. God does not exist. We're all mad. The issue is we exist.
Your view, I'm fascinated by how somebody, a respected, sophisticated journalist in the 21st century, can believe that a prophet flew to heaven on a winged horse.
Let me ask you this. Are all people who hold beliefs in God and in miracles and the supernatural, do you regard them all as intellectually inferior to you?
Of course we have social responsibilities as politicians. I absolutely agree with that.
Do you have policies on fighting racism?
Yes, we do.
What are they?
We're completely intolerant of intolerance.
And what's the you said you have policy.
Well, that is the policy.
That's not a policy, that's just another phrase.
What's your definition of a policy?
A plan that a government can enact using the powers of the state or the exchequer, changing laws around discrimination, inequality, changing the education system, cracking down on discrimination.
All of those follow from
plenty of policies.
words.
I'm not even a politician.
All of those follow from...
When I was in Ramallah, I drove past a building which I was told was the Palestinian Presidential Palace. It cost several $1 million. It was grossly, obscenely big. I'm wondering, why does the president of an occupied people need to live in a palace?
It's not built for him, it's for our guests.
Which guests?
And what you call the presidential palace is a guest house. We have parliamentarians from all over Earth, we have NGOs coming to visit us and so on. So where do you keep putting them? In the moving big at $300 a night? We can't afford it. This is why we built this guest house, and please come and visit it. And if you come, I will have you stay there.
We did.
I promise.
I did come to Ramallah, and when the Al Jazeera camera crew went to film the palace, they were threatened with arrest. If you are here tonight, ladies and gents, if you're here tonight to defend what Israel's done, knowing full well what Israel has done, if you're defending the human suffering in Gaza, the amputation of little kids, if you're doing that in full knowledge, then you're not just here to defend the indefensible or justify the unjustifiable. I'm sorry, you're a sociopath. And I will say to you,
just because I'm asking you why you would say that
I'm
Biden
obnoxious.
didn't thwart.
You're a racist.
He didn't
We want to play
thwart-
that game?
Oh.
You said Obama is not born in America. He's not one of
did?
us.
I
He's
said that?
Yeah, you said Trump is doing a great job asking for his birth certificate.
I said
he's,
that?
You said he's not one of us. You said he jives and schmucks. Should we go down the record? You're going to call me obnoxious? Why don't you talk about your racism?
Yeah.
Donald Trump's watch. Did you know that? Bet you didn't know that. Number two, let me just say this. Donald Trump is younger than Joe Biden. I like Joe Biden, but I don't want my president to die in office. There's a very good chance, God forbid, Joe Biden could die in office. Donald Trump is a healthy man. He eats cheeseburgers, he drinks Coke, but you can't deny he has some serious energy with all those long speeches. So he's healthier than Joe Biden. And number three, give the man a chance. He's only running because Barack Obama made fun of him in 2011. So let him have a chance to be president on his own term. 1 year into the civil war in Syria, when the death toll was much lower than Gaza, you said it was a genocide. You said the Rohingya in Burma.
Well, that's interesting.
Hold on. You said Rohingya in Burma.
Answer.
I'm finished my question, then you answer.
Okay.
You said the Rohingya in 2017, far less death toll in Burma, is a genocide. So I look at Piers Morgan and I say, here's this uncensored person, very bold, outspoken, opinionated man. He says Syria's a genocide. Burma's a genocide. Ukraine's a genocide. Israel? No, it's not a genocide.
Yeah.
And now today, actually, I'm going to withdraw the charge of genocide of Ukraine. That's how much I don't want to accuse Israel of genocide.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It
That.
feels like you're afraid.
No.
How many nuclear weapons does Israel have?
I don't know. By the way, another diversion, which I have to say.
No.
I have to
You
say.
can't pre-announce your diversions. Let me ask again. If an Iranian guest came on my show and I asked him about Iran's nuclear program, he said, I don't know, I'm not going to talk about it. Would you be okay with that? You'd be outraged.
Of course
And
I
yet
would
you
be.
sit here as a former
Of course I
minister of
would
the
be,
Israeli
because-
government saying, oh, I
Of
don't know,
course
never
would
talked about
be,
nukes with anyone.
Because there was like 16 United Nations Security Council resolutions against Iran.
And there is
was a
against Israel.
signatory
And
in
there is
Iran.
against Israel as
Not
well.
About
About
the
your nuclear
issues?
program?
No.
Yes, there is. UN
Show it.
Resolution 487. Let me read it to you. The UN Security Council in 1981 says, calls upon Israel urgently to place its nuclear facilities under the safeguards of the IAEA. Why haven't you done that?
Because
So this book divided in 4 parts. The first part is about the ABCs of public speaking and debating. Let's say, for example, know your audience, pay attention to your language, body language, voice, everything. The second part is about he called them the trick of the trade. Mehdi talks about the tricks he used to win arguments, how he prepared, what are the things that someone should pay attention to win for winning debates. And he was talking about Gish Ghalib, being aware of Gish Ghalib, and the art of Jinja, and many other things. So from part 3, I really started to see Mehdi Hassan shows from a very different perspective, because I learned a lot about how he prepared his show, things that the tricks he used in order to debunk the guest arguments. So I really started to notice everything he's doing on the show, things that I would never ever notice without reading this book. Part 4 of this book, Mehdi talks about how to end your speech or your debate effectively. Mehdi quotes Plato saying, "Those who tell stories rule society." So Mehdi thinks that one of the best ways to end your speech is telling a story, and not any kind of story, a story that wrap up your speech. So Mehdi insisted on telling a story to end your speech, and of course not any story that should be related to your speech and serve to convey the message or the soul or the gist of your speech. What I like most about this book, the way the author provides the readers with concrete examples whenever he is giving any advice related to public speaking or debating. For example, when he was talking about ending your speech with a story, he gives us the example of the Barack Obama victory speech in 2008, I think. When he was talking about, by the end of his speech, he was talking about that lady who was, I think, at that time 106 years, and that lady lived during the slavery time in the United States. She was banned from voting because she was black, because she was woman, and she lived until that day to witness the day when she was able to vote for the first black American President of the United States of America. That was really a great example to see, and it's really nice whenever he gives you an example, concrete example. You put the book down, you go to YouTube, you watch, you grasp the meaning of that trick or the meaning of that advice, and then you come back to your book. That's really one of the things that I really admired and likes about this book. And I think this book also is really a great source of other great books related to debating and public speaking. And TED Talks also. We have great TED Talks source here about how to end your speech, how to, in the middle of your speech, the end of your speech. Mehdi gives us here really great examples of that. And also the presidential debate in the United States. We have a list here of great presidential debating here. And some of them are really very old but gold, sorry. One of them, I watched one was in 1988. That was the year when I was born. And it was really great. Also, the purpose is to see the concrete example of what he's saying, either a mistake or something that you should do. I really liked that about this book. So, if you are university student, teacher, politician, someone who just like sharpen his skills or their skills in public speaking and debating, I think this book is made for you. Read it more than one time and keep it next to your desk whenever you are preparing a speech. I really highly recommend it for you. Thank you so much for watching. See you in another video.
Do support Hamas.
They support resisting Israel.
Well, I mean, the thing is, what did they do in the first place that they're in this, what you call open-air prison?
Great question. What did they do to deserve being occupied?
Well, here's the thing, because the Islamic Republic in Iran is using them as a tool.
What has Iran got to do with this?
As a tool for their Islamic expansion.
When did the Islamic...
Because they don't...
Hold on. When did the Islamic Republic of Iran... You're Iranian American,
Yes.
I believe.
Yes, I am.
When was the Islamic Republic of Iran founded?
1979.
When was Gaza occupied by Israel?
19... Well, the very first
67.
time. 67, yeah.
So, can we do the maths together? 12 years before the Islamic Republic of Iran existed,
Yep.
Israel was oppressing, occupying, dispossessing the people of Gaza. So your argument makes no sense.
And were there any terrorist organizations at the time?
The PLO was considered a terrorist organization by the entire Western world.
All right, so what's Hamas there?
Hamas did not exist till the 1980s.
Exactly. My point is, after the Islamic Republic came, it became chaotic because the Islamic Republic started to use the so-called innocent Palestinians for their own
So-called
ends.
innocent Palestinians? You don't think Palestinians are innocent?
Not all of them.
But what about the 17,000
look,
children who were killed?
They're doing the
17,000 children were killed. Were they not innocent?
Were
they not innocent?
Who's responsible for that?
Israel, who dropped the bombs on
Hamas
them.
is responsible. Hamas is responsible for hiding in hospitals and making tunnels underneath
So
those
when
hospitals.
children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers are not responsible for that.
Look,
It's a simple question.
Here's the problem.
When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in Gaza in the head, as eyewitness testimony and doctors' testimony proves, that's not the fault of the Israeli snipers.
This is the problem, because when you have a
The problem is you won't answer the question. I'll ask you a third time. When Israeli snipers shoot Palestinian children in the head, is that not the fault of Israeli snipers?
Well, you gotta let me finish.
No, you got to answer the question. Fourth time.
Well,
when Israeli
I will
snipers
get to
shoot
your answer.
Palestinian children in the
I
head,
will get to your
we're running out
answer.
of time. I need to
Well,
know what you think about innocent children.
because I will
what
get
you
to-
said was pretty outrageous. You said
I will
so-called
get to your answer.
innocent Palestinians. For the fifth time, when Palestinian children are shot in the head by Israeli snipers,
What
is that
did-
not the fault
what-
of Israeli
What did those
snipers?
children do?
What did
what did
you
they do?
tell me? Did the children deserve to be shot in the head?
Because the problem is,
you
over
know,
there,
millions of people are watching you say
they
to
start
justifying the
brainwashing
killing of
children. They start brainwashing children at a very young age.
So you support
Exact same-
sniping children in Gaza?
Look,
do other people here support sniping children in
Look.
Gaza? Is that a conservative position now?
What if they're wearing a suicide vest?
They weren't.
But what if they are?
They're not, though.
What
Dozens
if
of
they
children.
are?
I have friends who went
What-
there. Doctors went to
what
Gaza.
if-
American doctors. They came back as we were multiple children.
What if
with
they're
gunshot
hell bent?
shots.
What if they're hell
What if
bent
they're
on
not?
killing you and your family?
A 10-year-old child, an 8-year-old child, a 6-year-old
They're-
child.
Because
This is
like
bad
you said,
for you.
like you
You're
said,
sitting on
they're
live
brainwashing
television
them. They're
where millions of people are going to see your neighbors, your
because
friends.
then millions
you support
of people,
the killing of
millions
children.
of people don't know what's going on.
Even your fellow right-wingers are saying, don't go this far. White
Millions-
genocide, sure, but don't advocate
Millions of
killing
people
kids.
don't understand the brainwashing that is going on in Islamic Republic and in Palestine to create
You're
this
obsessed
hatred.
with Iran so much that you're supporting the killing of Palestinian children who never harmed you or any other Israeli. That's insane.
Look.
And the fact that you support Trump's ethnic cleansing now doesn't surprise me.
I didn't say ethnic cleansing. I said cleansing of the land.
All right,
Because
pause.
you need to cleanse
I'm
the land
sure,
from all
I'm
the
sure
tunnels.
Slobodan Milosevic
Pause.
said similar
Terrorism.
stuff. I condemn the invasion of Ukraine. Do you?
I condemn everything which led to
Hold
the
on.
outbreak of the
Victor,
war in
people are
Ukraine.
here listening to you. You're just all lives
Ceasefire.
matter us, all right?
Ceasefire is the most
I agree
important
with you.
thing.
So far we've agreed. Ceasefire is important.
Ceasefire.
American invasion of Iraq was wrong. We agree? You said it. You said it a
Iraq,
moment ago.
Afghanistan, Syria.
Agreed.
You have
I'm with you on
these
all of them.
things. Yes.
Okay. Russian invasion of Ukraine is wrong. You condemn it.
No, I think we need to really go back into the history
Wow.
to see what
Wow.
exactly happened.
Victor, you can
Russia-
condemn every American invasion, but you will not condemn the Russian invasion. and then you
Russia
say
says-
everyone should respect China's sovereignty. You don't respect Ukraine. You can't
Mehdi,
bring yourself to condemn
Mehdi,
the Russian
you
invasion.
need to listen very carefully as to what Russia is saying.
I'm listening so carefully to you tonight, I'm not hearing a condemnation.
Must achieve tomorrow. This election had many firsts and many stories that will be told for generations, but one that's on my mind tonight is about a woman who cast her ballot in Atlanta. She is a lot like the millions of others who stood in line to make their voice heard in this election, except for one thing. Ann Nixon Cooper is 106 years old. She was born just a generation past slavery, a time when there were no cars on the road or planes in the sky, when someone like her couldn't vote for two reasons: because she was a woman and because of the color of her skin. And tonight, I think about all that she's seen throughout her century in America: the heartache and the hope, the struggle and the progress, the times we were told that we can't, and the people who pressed on with that American creed: yes, we can. At a time when women's voices were silenced and their hopes dismissed, she lived to see them stand up and speak out and reach for the ballot: yes, we can. When there was despair in the Dust Bowl and depression across the land, she saw a nation conquer fear itself with a New Deal, new jobs, a new sense of common purpose: yes, we can. When the bombs fell on our harbor and tyranny threatened the world, she was there to witness a generation rise to greatness and a democracy was saved: yes, we can. She was there for the buses in Montgomery, the hoses in Birmingham, a bridge in Selma, and a preacher from Atlanta who told the people that we shall overcome: yes, we can. A man touched down on the moon. A wall came down in Berlin. A world was connected by our own science and imagination. And this year, in this election, she touched her finger to a screen and cast her vote. Because after 106 years in America, through the best of times and the darkest of hours, she knows how America can change. Yes, we can. America, we have come so far. We have seen so much, but there's so much more to do. So tonight, let us ask ourselves, if our children should live to see the next century, if my daughters should be so lucky to live as long as Ann Nixon Cooper, what change will they see? What progress will we have made? This is our chance to answer that call. This is our moment. This is our time to put our people back to work and open doors of opportunity for our kids, to restore prosperity and promote the cause of peace, to reclaim the American dream and reaffirm that fundamental truth that out of many we are one, that while we breathe, we hope, and where we are met with cynicism and doubt and those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people: yes, we can. Thank you. God bless you. And may God bless the United States of America.